there's a whole lot to the Tidepool experience, right? The goal with Tidepool is to provide you free software to access and understand your diabetes data. But the first thing you have to do to actually go down this journey of accessing and understanding your data is creating your Tidepool account. Depending on who you are and what your situation is and your relationship to diabetes, the end goal is the same. You have a Tidepool account. How you get there is sort of a bob and weave sort of a path. So I'm going to walk you through what that bob and weave path looks like. And we're going to create at least one demo account today. From there, hopefully that will get you started with this is now I'm ready to upload my data, take a look at my data and go from there. Again, if you have questions throughout all this, let me know. At the very end of the account creation portion, I'm actually going to upload data to my account because I haven't done it in a week and a half, and I owe that to my endo. And I'll show you what Tidepool Uploader looks like as well. So I'm going to share my screen one more time, and we're going to take a look at the account creation process. Share my screen. Which 11 people announced that they're going to share their screen. This is sort of how they fill time as they're trying to find the right button, as if they've never shared their screen before on a webinar. Anyway, tidepool.org/signup is where you need to go to ultimately sign up for your Tidepool account. Chances are, if you're actually watching this webinar, you might be familiar with this process because you've already created your Tidepool account. But just in case you aren't, and you're new to this whole experience, I'm going to walk you through all of this and where to go from there. So when you go to tidepool.org/signup, you have two options as we stand today. One is to create a personal account. The other is to create a clinician account. The initial setup process for creating a personal clinician account is kind of the same. What happens after the fact is a little bit different, but we're going to focus on the personal account side of things because that's who I am, and that's likely who you are. So you click personal account and continue. From there, to get started with Tidepool, all you need is a full name and an email address. So we're actually going to put in a demo account here. Demo, let's see, how about COVID? Is that too morbid? About Christopher COVID. That's a nice little demo account, and we'll say demo plus COVID. So this is how I create demo accounts just for these sorts of purposes right here. And once you have your account created, cool, awesome. You've got this new message saying, all right, we've got your account ready to go, but you need to verify your email address before you do anything else there. To do something like that, the Tidepool system will actually send you an automated email. They'll ask you to verify your Tidepool account. It'll look something like this. So again, you see this saying right here, please click the link in the email we've just sent you. This is where you click the link that we've just sent you. So I'm going to copy that link address and paste that over here. And now we're actually ready to re-enter our password one more time. And now we have the first sort of branching path in terms of the account creation process. I'm over 18. So for me, I would be able to say I'm over 18 years old and click this little box to accept the terms of use and privacy policy agreement for Tidepool, and you're ready to go from there. If you are signing up for Tidepool and you are between 13 and 17 years old, as is indicated on the screen, you need to have a parent or guardian agree to the terms of service below. The internet's kind of weird, but we are going to know that, just so you know, in terms of the legalese, this is what is required here. So again, if you're signing up for your account between 13 and 17, here we have that initial checkbox for your parent to acknowledge that they are over 18, and also to, as a parent, to agree that your child is between 13 and 17 years old from there. After this portion of the process, and I'll show you what that looks like, there actually is a separate indication screen in the profile to say that you are creating this account for your kid. So that would be something you can do there. Where it gets real interesting here is if you are signing up for somebody who is 12 years or younger. And if this is the case, you have to be 13 or older to create a Tidepool account. If you have a child with diabetes who is less than 13 years old, the way forward is to actually create an account indicating you are 18 years or older, and you're basically going to create the account for you, the adult, the parent of the child with diabetes, accept the terms of use and privacy policy agreement. And then when it comes to actually filling out the profile, you can indicate, and I'm going to show you what that looks like in a moment, that you are creating an account for your child. Once you've accepted the terms of use and privacy policy agreement, you're now prompted to a screen that says, hey, you're ready to set up data storage, because very likely you're going to be uploading data to this Tidepool account that you've just created. So when you click yes to set this up, here again is where the sort of bob and weave, the branching paths will come back together for your data storage account. For me, my personal account and my diabetes, I would be leaving this first option checked for this is for me, I have diabetes. As a parent of a kid with diabetes, if you're creating an account for them, this is where that option in here indicates that you are creating the account for somebody you're caring for with diabetes. So if you are caring for a child with diabetes who is less than 13, again, This is where you could actually document that. So you can indicate their full name here, as well as anything else you want to indicate in their profile about them. And then the birthday here is where you can indicate that they aren't necessarily under 13 years old. For me, I'm going to just go ahead and figure this out. This is for a webinar. I will indicate my birthday. Let's just pick a day. How about this one? Diagnosis day. Again, for the sake of this demo, it doesn't necessarily matter. So we will say here, you have the option to self-indicate whether or not you have, or what type of diabetes you have. For me, I'll just indicate my type 1. We also have an option here to donate your anonymized data. We have something called the Tidepool Big Data Donation Project. This is an opt-in program where the Tidepool team, we will take any data that you upload, anonymize it, de-identify it, and license it out to support diabetes research and innovation. This is your choice. It's your data, your choice. You can opt into this program. If you do opt into this, we go through that anonymization process. You can also choose to support a diabetes nonprofit organization with your data donation. We take 10% of all the money we earn through the data licensing agreements, and we'll give that back to nonprofits that you select. So if you're a fan of JDRF, for example, you can actually donate your data and support JDRF with your data donation. And every quarter or so, we take a look at the money that we brought in through our data donation program and give 10% of that money back out to these nonprofits based off of these selections that you've chosen. Because this is a demo account, I'm actually going to remove this because it isn't necessary here. But again, that's the account creation process for me or for somebody else as relates to diabetes. Once you have all this ready, if you don't have any data in your account, this screen might look familiar because you are waiting to upload your data. When it comes to uploading data, that requires Tidepool Uploader. And that's what we have here. Let me log back out of this. This is Tidepool Uploader. Again, if you are new to the Tidepool experience, this is the software that's used to upload data from our supported devices, from your pump, your CGM, your blood glucose meter to your Tidepool account. This works on Mac, it works on Windows, works on the most recent versions of the operating systems of each of those computers that are supported. When it comes to using Tidepool Uploader for the first time, you can actually download it from tidepool.org/download. And here we are prompted, wait for it, to download Tidepool Uploader. I'm on a Mac, so I'll be downloading this for Mac. If you're on Windows PC, download for Windows, you'll download that exe file and you'll be good to go there. Once you have Tidepool Uploader installed on your computer, you can log into your account. What is that called? What did I call this guy? COVID? At tidepool.org. When it comes to your first time using Tidepool Uploader, because you don't have any account preferences set up yet, the first thing you'll see is a choose devices menu here. I'm wearing a t:slim insulin pump, so I'm going to select Tandem for my supported devices here. But you can see we have a very healthy list of supported devices, including a whole bunch of blood glucose meters. As a point of reference, in case you want to take a look at anything or every device that we are supporting, if you go to tidepool.org/devices, that will bring you to this lovely page. It is quite colorful, and this will show you all the different blood glucose meters, insulin pumps, and CGMs that Tidepool supports. You can scroll all the way down and see everything, or you can actually use this lovely little filter option here at the top to see the different insulin pumps from Medtronic that we support, for example. You can see we support both the Omnipod and Omnipod Dash, all of Tandem's pumps. And again, these filters will work for all the different devices that we support. So my ask of you, if you're watching this now live or watching the archive later, go to tidepool.org/devices, take a look at everything that we support. And if you're using a device that we do not support, send a message to support@tidepool.org so we can work on updating our software to hopefully add support for your devices in the future. Your feedback actually helps us prioritize our work. So that's actually really important for you to keep in touch with that. So again, I'm using a Tandem pump. Once I'm ready to go here, I've selected that device. The next thing you'll have to do is select your time zone. The time zone is the thing that actually helps us keep your data in sync. As you can see, we are expecting the device time based off of where I'm living on the East Coast to be around 12:13 p.m. I'm just going to check my pump. It is pretty accurate. And then I'm going to connect my device. Let's see if we can hear this t:slim connecting with the USB cable. There we go. That's Foley work for you. So Tidepool Uploader works by connecting via USB to all of our supported devices. I just plugged in my Tandem insulin pump. I'm going to click upload right here. And we're going to watch this thing go. The first time you're ever uploading a device to a given Tidepool account, it's likely going to take more time than your subsequent uploads because it's the first time we're seeing your device. So this is actually me sort of filling time a little bit because there's a lot of data on my insulin pump, and the first upload is going to be grabbing everything off the insulin pump. So you're going to have to be a little patient with us for that first upload. Subsequent uploads will always be a little bit faster just because we're only uploading new data. While this is going, take a quick look and see there aren't any questions that have come in yet, likely because this is still a new and exciting experience for you. Again, you've got that Q&A button at the bottom there in case you have any questions around Tidepool Uploader or getting your account created. The last thing that I do want to cover once this upload has finished is what to do if your clinician has created a Tidepool account for you and they have actually sent you a notification saying, hey, you've got a Tidepool account ready and waiting for you. We're going to do that in just one moment. Wait for the progress bar to finish scrolling. And then from there, hopefully there isn't an error message. Wait for it. How are you all doing today? It's a really loaded question to ask with the global pandemic, right? Does Tandem upload CGM? So this is a question from Paul. Thank you, Paul. Does Tandem upload CGM data as well? Yes, Paul. We are uploading everything off of that pump. So CGM data, the blood glucose, if you're entering manual blood glucose readings into your insulin pump, all that data is coming in as well. All the insulin data, obviously your basal and boluses, all that comes off the insulin pump at the same time. This is actually a little awkward now, Paul and others, because the upload, this is actually a really fascinating thing to happen during a live webinar. It's a little awkward, but errors do happen with software. In case something goes wrong, you can actually click this little error button and see that there was something that went wrong with, actually, wow, this is a fantastic new error. This is interesting. I'm actually going to be sending an email to support@tidepool.org about this error message because I have no idea what just happened right here. Anyway, that's really awkward, y'all. This is what happens. Something always goes wrong during a live demo. That's okay. We're going to be okay. All right. In the case of Tidepool.org, in the case of a clinician that has created an account for you, let's see, failures or learning experience. See, Paul, I love your empathy. And hopefully we're going to learn what happened and improve our software and issue another update to Tidepool Uploader. I thank you, Paul. You're my dude. I really appreciate that. So in the case of that, we're actually going to go with Paul there. We're going to Paul demo display. Oops, Paul demo. We're going to create a quick account right now as a clinician. I'm going to show you what happens whenever 2000 demo plus Paul at Tidepool. All right. In the case of a clinician that is creating an account for you, whenever they are creating an account and they include the email address for their account, let me show you what the email is going to look like for you real quick. Hang on a second. So in the case of a clinic that is creating an account and sending and adding your email address to that account for you, you're going to receive an email that looks like this saying diabetes clinic follow-up, claim your account. This is what you're going to receive again if your clinician has created your account for you and they are suddenly adding your email address to that account they've created. And from here, you would be able to click this link to claim your account. And you're going to start that exact same process of, oh no, what did I do here? 412. 412 2000. Oops. Demo. When it comes to actually creating that account and verifying your identity from your clinician, birth date is required. That way we actually know we're talking to the same person. Create your password. And once you are ready, you again come back to that same terms of use page, which we saw earlier in the experience. And then we have, once you are ready to create that data storage, again, ready to start uploading data to that account that your clinician initially created for you, but now you have full access and control over. That's, again, the sort of getting started process in terms of uploading data. I'm going to figure out what happened with Tidepool Uploader on this past issue. Again, I'm going to send an email to support@tidepool.org, figure what happened there. And from there, we're actually going to, tomorrow, walk through Tidepool Web and show you all the different views, basics, daily, BG log, and trends, and show off everything we have there. That way you have a basic understanding of what you can expect once you successfully upload your data to your Tidepool account. So we have a couple of questions coming in real quick. We got a question in from Rhonda. I've been using Tidepool for a while. Why do I have areas of no data? Is this where, when there are updates, my BG area is blank because I have the new Mac software? So Rhonda, in your case, it might be because the devices that you're uploading don't have BG log data or blood glucose meter data associated with it. For example, my pump on Control IQ, I'm actually not entering any manual blood glucose values in my insulin pump. So there are no manual readings to pull off of that. So that BG reading section of the basics view, which we'll cover tomorrow, is actually blank because I'm not uploading a blood glucose meter because I'm using a Dexcom G6. So I think if you are uploading a device that you're expecting data to show up in that section, send an email to support@tidepool.org and we'll take a look at what's going on there and see what may be going wrong, if there is something actually going wrong with your account. I have another question following from Danita. I have this upload problem every time that I upload my pump now. I have a Medtronic 670 and I have to try multiple times before it uploads, which eventually it does. I never had this problem when I had a pig pump. I feel you, Danita. I'm sorry you're having some frustrations. There may be something else going on that is sort of preventing the sort of regular uploads from succeeding the first time through. If you don't mind, send us an email, support@tidepool.org, and we can take a look and see if there's something else going on, either with our software or with the setup, or there's something else going on that neither of us have necessarily accounted for initially, but we might be able to uncover through some additional investigation to take a look there. And one final question in from Michael. Is there any benefit to using Tidepool Mobile for CGM uploads, or is it just better to use a direct upload from the Tandem pump? For Dexcom data, it ultimately depends on the primary device that is serving as your CGM receiver. Because my insulin pump is serving as my primary CGM receiver, I upload everything off of that first. So there's no need to try and use Tidepool Mobile or any other sort of method to upload data. So I think for you, if you're using a t:slim and you have CGM data on there, everything normally, excusing that error that we just saw earlier, everything will come off the pump just fine, and all that data will display there. So it won't necessarily be, it's not to your advantage to upload your CGM data from your phone. That isn't going to do anything. It's not going to fill any gaps or anything like that. You could use Tidepool Mobile, which we're going to get into either tomorrow or on Thursday, to take notes and document your day and include context from your diabetes data. But in terms of the uploading experience, just stick with Tidepool Uploader and uploading everything off your pump, and you'll be just fine right there. And Rhonda's actually come back in saying I'm on Control IQ as well. Yeah, so Rhonda, in particular with Control IQ, there's still some work that the Tidepool team has to complete to fully support displaying all the data coming off of a Control IQ pump. And some of that is a result of the fact that the basal rates are changing all the time. There's the activity mode versus the sleep mode, and there are some other things there that we have to account for with our software that we're not yet there yet. So some of that data display with the Control IQ pump in Tidepool may change a little bit in the future once we fully update our software. That work is still in progress. We're still working on making that happen for you. So until then, we won't necessarily have anything to show for that. So it might be a little bit of a bumpy ride for now. But again, if there are any data anomalies or things that you identify as weird or you're not sure about, again, send a message to support@tidepool.org, and we will take a look at what's going on there and hopefully get to the bottom of this. All right. So that was a quick, that was actually a lot faster than I thought. You don't really look at the clock until you're done. Anyway, so that's looking at creating your Tidepool account, what to do whenever your doctor creates a Tidepool account for you, and presumably what would happen with Tidepool Uploader whenever things are working successfully. I'm going to send a message to the Tidepool support team, let them know that something has gone wrong with my uploads, and hopefully we're going to get to the bottom of that. And until then, I will check in with all of you tomorrow when we'll be going through Tidepool Web, just walking through the basics of what you can expect to see when it comes to displaying your data within the Tidepool experience. Thank you all for hopping on this very short, very quick webinar talking about understanding the basics of Tidepool. Hopefully you're going to learn a little bit today and a little bit tomorrow and Thursday. And until then, we'll see you then. Take care, everybody.